Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Life in Progress. Phil Penarski here, happy to be with you all, joined once again by Charlesy Dewey. Charlesy, how are you doing today?
Doing well, Phil. It's great to be here again.
Yeah, no, and we've got a really awesome second episode of Life in Progress. People have probably already started their holiday shopping, but it's important to kind of keep in mind with budgeting, and we have a very awesome guest joining us for this episode.
Yeah, this week we talked with Tara Jones-Williamson of YourPrettyPennies.com. She is a financial success coach, and we asked her to come in and talk about budgeting for the holidays. So she came in, and you're going to see in the interview, she gave us some really great tips on when to start budgeting, how to budget for the holidays, some ideas of how to find deals without being inundated with sort of overwhelming amounts of emails that are promising you, the 50% off, 40% off. She's telling us how to make sure we don't overspend by trying to take advantage of too many deals.
Right.
So another really, really great tips as you're kicking off your holiday shopping and trying to stay within budget and not put too much on those credit cards.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's send it back over to past Phil and past Charlesy with that interview with Tara right now.
Yeah. We're here today with Tara Jones-Williamson, who is a financial success coach. She has been working in this area for over a decade now, starting her business back in 2014. And she has clients all across the country and also hosts workshops and in-person events locally. Tara, thank you so much for coming and being here. Is there anything I missed in my introduction that you would want me to mention?
Thank you so much for having me, first of all. I just adore talking about budgeting for the holidays. My brand, Your Pretty Pennies, is all about financial lifestyle and how we're measuring and kind of putting the two together to make sure that, we are spending our coins the right way, paying off debt, but also enjoying life a little bit.
Right. Well, and that's the big thing is that I definitely want to get into as we talk is how do you budget but not get so stringent that you feel like you're not able to enjoy anything. But before we get into that I wanted to ask my first question, which is, when should people start thinking about budgeting or saving for the holidays? Like, really?
Ideally, January 1.
Yeah.
Right? We all know, and I tell this to my family members, my clients, Christmas, Thanksgiving, the major holidays, and the amounts that you need to spend during those holiday seasons come every year. They're on the calendar, so for 2026, it's already on the calendar, December 25th, okay? Yeah. So we just need to make sure that we're thinking about and planning ahead of time, okay? But it's not too late. You can start today, right? Putting away a little bit of something, even $25 a paycheck, $50 a paycheck, saving it to the side can help you tremendously when you start that holiday shopping. And I want you to think about not just gifts, but food that you're going to be serving. The grocery bill kind of adds up. Activities, things that you could do for free to offset the cost of some of the activities like going to Frederick Meyer Gardens, right? So just thinking about planning, writing everything down, putting numbers behind everything is a really great start.
Right. Well, and so I would imagine, like you said, starting at the beginning of the year to budget by deciding I'm going to try to set aside this much each paycheck. And then what about as you get closer to the holiday and you're ready to start spending, how do you kind of budget that, like you said, okay, this much is going to go to food, this much is going to go to gifts, this much it might be going to activities or travel or other expenses that you need to be thinking about?
I love that's a great question because that's really being proactive for next year since you're seeing this probably sometime in December, right? So next year, when you start January 1, 2026, I want you to put aside $25 or $50 a paycheck, right, or pay period. And then I also want you to kind of look back and see how much you're spending this year. If the average person spends nearly $1,200 for the holiday season, I want you to divide that by 7 months, 8 months, because typically we start shopping in October, maybe November. You know, we kind of don't wait until December to start shopping. And so we need those funds available probably in about October or November in order to start getting those gifts under the tree. tree. And so I want you to think about that. And I also want you to think about activities, price costs for going figures or ice skating, right? Going to Frederick Meyer Garden, going to the different holiday light shows, anything that you can think about. I want you to put numbers to them. Do a little research. Chat GPT is our friend.
Yeah.
You can put what you would like to see and what you would like to do for the holiday season and say, hey, I have $150 to spend. What can I do? And make a list. And again, it's not too late. Even if the holidays is in a few weeks of you watching this, get out Chat GPT and say, hey, I have $150 to spend for Christmas for 5 people, for mom, dad, and 2 siblings, or for 4 children, right? What are some good ideas? And then they can spit out some ideas for you that keeps you in budget.
Nice.
One thing I wanted to ask you, Tara, is because, it's great whenever we can maybe get a jump start on the holiday shopping season. Even if you're in the summer, maybe you're at the farmer's market, you see somebody with a really cool blanket or something like that you're maybe thinking about giving somebody, but you got to hang on to it for quite a bit of time. And maybe sometimes you forget about it and, it kind of piles up, and before you know it, maybe you've overspent your budget before you actually start holiday shopping. I mean, how do you kind of deal with that, knowing that, okay, I didn't get everything on my list. I do have some items here, but I'm out of money. How do you go about maybe tackling something like that?
Well, let me back up for a second, because I love when you said you can start shopping with that money that you set aside all year in July or in August or in June, especially if you catch a good clearance sale, right? And January is very good for clearance, right? The end of summer clearance is a really good time to start stocking up for kids' items. They don't know if something was came out in the summer. They don't care about seasons, right? You can get a toy for very cheap and then put it in your gift closet or a gift drawer. That's what I have in my home, where I have it tucked away in the basement, in the laundry room, to where I have a stash for nieces and nephews and kids and, in-laws and candles and things that I could just pull out and gift, right? Also, I want you to think about setting aside a savings account that's literally, you can go in on your online banking and nickname it Christmas Fund, to where it's money separate from your bill money, it's separate from money that you're using for the kids throughout the year, separate from your emergency fund, to where if you're at the farmer's market in July, like you said, Phil, and you say, hey, I want to take the advantage of buying this gift, take it from that money, right? But then lastly, you said, well, what if you set aside a certain amount of money and you're tapped out? Well, get creative. You can start giving experiences to family and friends. Hey, create on your computer in Canva and print out 3 certificates of free babysitting. Yeah. I myself have a 7-month-old. If somebody gifts me 3 2-hour babysitting sessions for Christmas, that is better than a candle, okay? I would love that so much, right? My husband and I would be like, thank you, right? Or you can think about taking the kids down to the John Ball Zoo on a free day. Right? There's so many ways you can bake something in your home. If you have cake mix and you're good at cupcakes and everybody loves your cupcakes or your peach cobbler, or like my sister, she makes this sweet potato cheesecake. I will gladly take a dessert for Christmas, okay? So you can do things other than buying and spending money.
Absolutely. No, I definitely like that, because again, that is something that I feel like a lot of people do end up dealing with quite a bit of time, is I would love to give you the entire world. If I could buy you a brand new Mercedes, I would do that right now. If I could buy you a brand new house, I'd do that right now. But that really isn't what a lot of people are able to do, especially during the holidays. You've got so many other people you're kind of buying for. Those experiences, I think, are a great tip there.
And it's not the reason for the season, right? Sometimes we have to kind of check ourselves and get back to the basics. I don't know about you, but just in the season, this past year, I've been feeling the need to kind of simplify and get back to the basics and understand that family is everything. Quality time is everything, and more people are craving it. And so think about your loved ones, those that you love, grandparents, parents, those who are really in retirement, who are lonely during the holidays. Instead of stop worrying about the hustle and bustle and spending, let's worry about spending time.
That's great. I love that, spending time. And I think if more people do, as you are looking at your budget, if you can think, hey, how would this person enjoy spending a couple hours with me? What could I go do with them? What, maybe like a hike out in the woods, or maybe you could go to like a brunch somewhere,
Paint
or you could
your
have
nails together.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Do a hot cocoa bar at your home with your friends. Right? Instead of a Friendsgiving or Friendsmas where you pass gifts, why don't everybody just bring a small dish that's $5, $10? Since everybody is kind of strapped for cash, during this season, most of the time they have to buy for their kids or their loved ones. Why can't we just enjoy each other and play cards? Play Uno, play Space 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, and I will say I have my stats here. Yeah, so they're saying that this year holiday shoppers plan to spend more than $1,107 on average for gifts, which is more than what people were expecting were spending last year, which I find really interesting, especially with inflation and tariff costs and prices of things. But once somebody spends that money, and then they start feeling that holiday regret, what are some of your tips for how to deal with the credit card after the fact if you do overspend a little bit or if you do make that mistake?
So it's a double-edged sword when it comes to holiday spending during economic hardship, because a lot of times people use spending as a way to cope. So although it seems counterintuitive that says, hey, inflation on groceries has went up, gas prices has been fluctuating, or it costs more to buy a car or to, mortgage a home, the spending has been going up as well. Oftentimes people use spending even for other people as a stress reliever, which is unfortunate because they do get the other side of the sword right after Christmas, when they get that credit card bill, when they see their statement, when they see where their checking account is sitting or their savings account or the lack thereof, they get a little bit of regret. And again, we have to remember the reason for the season. There is still the ability to pay off debt or to maintain your current standard of living and give gifts. Again, have a conversation with family members and saying, hey, I don't want to have holiday regret. I don't want to have all these issues with finances and debt after Christmas this year like we all complained about last year. Let's get together and say, let's do a Secret Santa where we only give one gift, right? Or we pick a name out of a hat where everybody gets one person a gift and we all get a great gift from this house or from this gathering, right? There's so many different ways to avoid the overspending this year.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And actually, that just reminded me, I'd completely forgotten about this, but when I was very, very little, that's what my grandparents did with their our big family back then. They would have everybody over for Thanksgiving, and that was when everyone would pick their Secret Santa, was that after Thanksgiving. And then they would have a big Christmas party right before Christmas, and that's when that was all the adults. We, as kids, we were spoiled, but all the adults would exchange their Secret Santa gifts, and that was a great way when you have a large family and a lot of people to be able to get them something nice, but limit your spending because you're only buying for one person instead of all of your siblings or all of your aunts and uncles.
And I agree. As a woman with 3 teenagers and a 7-month-old, I can assure you their attention spans is very minimal. The teens want gift cards. They want Robux. They want, Fortnite stuff and Nintendo stuff. And the 7-month-old wants to play with the box that the toy you bought them comes in. And in a month or two, they're begging for something else. So again, if I were you, I would kick the holiday guilt, kick the overspending, get into therapy or talk to somebody when it comes to how to manage stress and anxiety around the holidays, and try not to do retail therapy because you might regret it at the end of the month.
Right. One thing I've always struggled with, especially around the holidays, is buying stuff for my parents. You know, they've got income. They can go out if they need something. They can go out and buy something. Yeah. So it makes it a little bit difficult. You know, you want to buy something that means a lot to them, something that they could use, something that they might like. But again, there is that bit of a generational disconnect. I think, you know, what my dad likes, well, it might be different than maybe what I would rather have. How do you go about maybe kind of going? I know we're kind of stretching more so into the gift giving idea, but kind of planning out the budgeting for that. I mean, maybe buying a little bit more expensive items to maybe show off in front of your parents. I mean, how do you go about doing something like that? Because you want to give your parents something great for the holiday season, but again, younger generations, they might not have access to that kind of money. How do you go about doing that and providing a happy holidays?
So my biggest thing is have a conversation, right? For example, my father-in-law loves to shop on eBay. Okay. And he is the type that browses and you never know what he will like. So it's not something that you can pinpoint as a good gift for him. Right. So I always set aside money to get a nice eBay gift card. My mother-in-law, she loves Coach. Okay. Hey, Mom. She loves Coach. So she's getting something good and fancy from Coach, right? Now, I offset that, and what I do in my household is with all the nieces and nephews I have, I shop off-season and get the LOL surprise items and the new latest and greatest whatever when they are on clearance, when they're on sale. Again, you can go to ChatGPT, you can go to things like honey.com, CapitalOneShopping.com, and find alerts for things that you know your children are into. So if you know they're into Legos, get in at the bottom, rock bottom price by setting a price alert on Google, on ChatGPT, on some type of technology, so you can spend less on some of the items and spend a little bit more. Like I said, or like Phil said, if you want to spend a little bit more and show off with your siblings who got the best gift for your parents.
Get some bragging rights.
Get some bragging rights, you could do that. You know, just think about moderation and offsetting that expense.
Yeah. That was one thing like that you guys we were kind of discussing earlier is buying stuff ahead of the November, December. But for me, one of the things now is we're seeing advertisements all the time. We're getting them all day long in our socials, and then they're sending us texts and emails, and there's this constant, pressure to take advantage of sales. And so how do you sort of balance taking advantage of sales to help you with your holiday spending without becoming a victim of overspending because, this, 50% off this, 30% off this, and all of a sudden you've overspent your budget because you bought so many things on sale, thinking you're getting good deals, but in the long run, you're actually hurting your credit card.
These big companies have mastered the art of getting you to buy impulsively. I am a big proponent of not being on their mailing list, especially during the holidays. Now, some of you may be thinking, oh my goodness, I'm going to miss out on a great deal, a great sale, a great this if I'm not in the loop in my email. And I assure you, if you do things like sit down, decide on how much you're going to spend for each person, identify what they want as a gift, go to something like ChatGPT or honey.com or Capital One Shopping, do a price alert, calculate about how much it costs and what's a good price for each item. You will get an email to your phone saying, hey, this price is available for this item, and you can bypass all of the 76 emails Amazon sends a day, or Bed Bath & Beyond, or Bath & Body Works, or Macy's. They're going to inundate you in the holiday season, and they're going to say, hey, this is the lowest price of the season. And most of us know, especially those who are bargain shoppers like myself, Black Friday is not always the best deal most of the time. It's those random Tuesdays where a price drops. And so if you have those alerts, or if you use the power of AI or technology, you'll be able to identify those.
Right.
Well, that kind of leads into Black Friday talk, I guess, a little bit. You know, a lot of people, that is sort of the unofficial, official start to the holiday shopping season. You know, people for years camped out after Thanksgiving in front of Best Buy, all these other stores to get the first deals. But now it's all kind of moved online, maybe shifting a little bit more to Cyber Monday as well. There's still deals on Friday and really throughout that whole weekend. But you're saying maybe don't rely too much on them to save some money. You should be kind of doing that all year long.
You know, and it's interesting that there's been so many studies, and I implore you to look it up, how stores will actually increase their prices around this time of year just to drop them to a quote unquote normal price in order for you to make you feel like you're getting a deal.
Right.
Right.
And so for me, in November, electronics, especially around Black Friday, is when I would shop for a good deal. Electronics like TV, games, consoles, you know, the PS5, the things like that, those are going to get the better deals. In December, looking at clothes, looking at things like shoes, at perfumes, those do well and drop in the lowest prices in the holiday season in around December. Now, January, things like linens, beddings, clearance on almost everything, luggage, coats, things like that. Look in January. November is not always the time to get some of these items. You kind of have to spread them out.
Well, and then we keep mentioning the term budgeting and, you know, just making sure you're not overspending, making sure you've got a correct plan for your own personal finances to make sure you're not breaking the bank when you're holiday shopping. But as far as making a budget, I mean, there are some people that probably don't budget in their every day-to-day lives and maybe don't really know where to start when kind of first kind of getting that budgeting limit right in their minds. I mean, any tips that you would suggest for people? It's going to obviously vary depending on who is talking or who's doing the shopping. But as far as kind of deciding this is how much of my income I'm willing to spend, do you have any tips on that?
Yes. And I'm glad you asked me that, Phil, because as a financial success coach and speaker, the first thing that anyone should do in order to create a budget is sit down, get out a sheet of paper. If you're like my mom, hey mom, my mom, I remember being young and you know how we used to get junk mail and they used to come with like the envelopes, and I remember my mom budgeting on the back of an envelope, a junk mail envelope. So you can really get as back to the basics as possible for this. Get out a sheet of paper and I want you to identify and write down all the sources of income you have for the month, okay? Let's say the income is $5,000 for the month. Okay. Then I want you to write down all of your expenses that you need to pay. I know we are getting excited for the holiday season. I know some of our love languages is gift giving and receiving gifts, but we need to make sure we're covering our essentials first. Making sure we have money for gas in the car. We've paid our utility bills, our rent or mortgage is paid, right? And accounted for on paper. Insurance policy premiums, everything, right? Everything down. Then there's going to be a simple calculation. Income minus expenses equal the money you have left over. Okay, your income, let's say, for example, is $5,000. Your expenses is $3,000 for the month. Let's say if you have $2,000 left over. Then I need you to decide how much do you want to save or do you want to give? Do you want to tithe, right? After you decide that, the amount of money you have left over, that's how much you have to go towards Christmas. For some of us, it might be $500. For some of us, it might be $250. For some of us, it might be $25, right? Everybody's getting a cupcake for Christmas if it's $25 left over, right? And then have no shame in your game, because the goal is not to put everything on credit. I am so tired of seeing the stats of how many people dig and get into credit card debt, and then they're dragging that credit card debt from holiday spending and gift giving 6-7 months into the next year, the following year. Imagine Christmas 2025 coming and going, and you're in the middle of 2026, July or August, still paying for December 2025 gifts.
Yeah, and that's one of the stats we have here is, it says that 36% of Americans took on holiday debt in 2024. Parents with younger children were the most likely to take on that debt. And then 42% say that they regret spending as much as they did. And 21% expect it to take 5 months or longer to pay it off. I mean, there's people currently right now still paying off holiday debt from last year.
Charles, I guarantee you, if they would have created a monthly budget and said, how much do I realistically have in cash, not in credit, not in a personal loan, not in anything, but how much do I have in cash each month to put aside for Christmas, even starting in July? That would have tremendously dropped the rates in which we're seeing people take out money, take out debt and credit for the holiday.
Are you surprised at all? I mean, that's 36%. I mean, that's over a third of Americans.
No, I'm not surprised. You know, there's a statistic out there that says 80 to 90% of Americans can't even absorb a $500 financial emergency. Most people don't have $500 in the bank to spare. Most people are one paycheck away from missing their rent payment or mortgage payment, right? Most people need a 2-parent household or 2-income household in order to stay afloat. Not to even be able to save or pay off debt, just to stay afloat and just maintain their current living expenses. So I'm not surprised at all, unfortunately.
Well, I think that's a good, again, going back to trying to think of experiences and trying to come up with more cost-effective ideas for how to spend the holiday, getting a little creative, like when you're sitting down with your budget, maybe sitting down with a brainstorm list of here's all the things we can do for under $20 or all the things we can do for free. You know, right now we're filming this ahead of Black Friday, ahead of some of the parades. When this airs, it might be a little bit past the parades, but you can, you know, there are Santa parades and activities all through the rest of November and into December. And so those are fun ways to take your kids and do something festive without spending any money because they're free. And a lot of them have activities and low cost, you know, hot chocolates and things like that to be able to treat your family that might be a good option.
You know, I was a single mother for 10 years before I got married in 2020, right?
Yeah.
And I found so many creative ways. And one of the websites that really saved me was grkids.com, where they have like free and cheap events every month going on. And if it does cost money, they post how much it's going to be to where you can budget around it. You can give your children, your family, your teenagers, because now I have 3 teens and a 7-month-old, you can give them great experiences for the holiday season without breaking the bank. I'm really just a glass half full type of woman and really like to see things and change the narrative from negative to positive. And so I just implore people to get excited about changing their own narrative and their own story, creating new traditions, releasing some of the consumerism, and just having fun and experiences for the holiday season. And even talking about traveling can be such a heavy expense, right? Why not use, instead of traveling during the holiday season, why not give a gift of travel for the holiday season where you've looked ahead at some blackout dates or some holidays that some dates in the future that were dirt cheap that you may go take a family trip in the middle of March, right? And have your children miss one day of school. They'll like that, actually. They'll feel like cool kids to leave on a Friday and come back on a Sunday, to where you can be at home creating experiences locally for free or cheap, but you still have traveled and still giving your kids the experience of travel, especially teenagers. Get them off their phones and get them into historical museums on the other side of the country would be a great idea.
Right. Yeah, I was reading, or I was not reading, I was watching on one of the TV shows, and they were saying that this is the worst time to travel because it is the most expensive time to travel. So if you can, their number one tip to save money during holidays for travel was don't travel.
Thank you.
Another thing I thought of too that's kind of a fun low-cost gift, you can create a lot of picture books. So you could take your experiences throughout the whole year, put it into a book and give that, and I think a lot of people would probably really appreciate a gift like that they can page through. We don't have photo albums like we used to, and so this is an opportunity to actually look back at all the fun things you've done in the course of a year. And I think that could be a really fun gift idea, too, that's not too expensive.
And make it even cheaper by getting coupons. Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Shutterfly, all those websites that you can either do a photo book where you kind of make it on the website, or like you said, if you get a actual photo album, which I really love that idea, print out some 4x6 photos. You can go to Dollar Tree, get some stickers or, the word stickers, and then just really create a fun gift for people to enjoy for years to come.
Yeah. That's another one we used to do. We'd go on like photo days where you would take, and again, you can do it with your phone. They also have those fun little Polaroid cameras you can buy again now. But you can go on like a photo adventure and just take a day and do a whole bunch of holiday activities and take pictures as you're doing them. And then you have all of those fun memories that you can put into a book or into like a slideshow or something to share on the holiday.
Yeah. And just know, even though children might not look, this isn't Roblox, this isn't that, I guarantee you they'll cherish it one day.
Yeah.
They will.
Right. Absolutely. Well, and like one thing, I mean, I don't know if people still do this, but I always love just driving around through neighborhoods, seeing all the holiday decorations, especially here in West Michigan. We get so much snow. I mean, it's got to be like the perfect backdrop to maybe some of those, once the sun is set, you're seeing all the lights light up. And again, the only thing you're really burning is the gas in your car.
Right.
Yes, I love that idea too. And that was one thing I looked forward to every year as a child. My dad used to pack us all in the car, and we would go into different areas. You knew which areas of town did better lights than others or more houses on the street, and you just rolled. And if you were lucky, if you had parents that allowed you to eat in the car, you could go to McDonald's, get a little a Happy Meal, and be able to enjoy while you're looking at the lights. I know Fifth Third Ballpark does a light show where you can stay in your car and do that. And again, burning just some gas in your car, you can go to Holland, Saugatuck, different areas around Michigan and enjoy the light shows too.
Right.
Maybe create a brand new family tradition too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, I wanted to kind of switch gears a little bit here to just some discussion questions for us. And I was wondering, are you guys big gift givers or are you not? Some people are really into gift giving. It's their love language and they like to express themselves that way. And other people dread having to give gifts. So where do you guys fall? Phil, you want to go first?
I love giving gifts. I'm a terrible gift giver, though. I feel, maybe terrible is not the right word. I always feel like, though, that, I've got all these really great ideas. And then when I kind of present it to them, they're always like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. And then it's kind of like, moving on a little bit. It might be just a personal thing, but, I always feel like I'm always letting people down whenever I give a gift. I could give them, again, like I was saying earlier, give them the moon and still feel like I just wish there was something else I could have gotten them. What else would you have liked? Yeah.
Always ask the question.
Yeah.
Demystify it for yourself. If you feel like you're not a good gift giver, think about what they would want, not what you want to give them.
Right.
And oftentimes people like more of what they have. So if you have a family member or a friend or a loved one who love hats, find a cool hat for them because they already love hats. Don't give them a scarf to match their hat collection because they might not be a scarf person. Otherwise, they would have scarves already.
Right.
If a person doesn't wear makeup, don't give them lipstick. Right? Just kind of think about that. But also, that's all I have for you as far as holidays.
No, that's a great...
And being a better gift giver.
Yeah.
Right.
Ask them.
No.
Ask them.
See, my mind would have gone to scarf, not another hat.
Yeah.
You already
No,
have a
ask
hat.
them.
Wouldn't you like a scarf? No, I mean, that's a great tip.
They like more of what they already have.
That's very true. So I'm a big reader and I'm buying books all year round, and I would be so disappointed to go through a Christmas and not get a book.
Yeah.
Like, I expect to walk away from Christmas Day with a stack of books to start reading in the new year. That is my go-to. If I had to X out everything else and could only get one thing for Christmas, it would be I would want a book.
Yeah.
That's the number one. My number one gift is a book.
For me, mine would be flat thigh-high boots.
Nice.
I am not a heel person anymore, although in my ideal self, I do wear heels and I do not. They're just not comfortable anymore in this season of life.
Yeah.
But I love finding really cute boots that I can pair with different outfits. And so if I leave the holiday season with just one or two pair of boots, I would be happy.
Yeah.
What about you, Phil?
Yeah.
This is gonna make me sound so lame. I'm a money guy, you know. If you give me $10 and a nicely written card, I am a happy camper. And then, you know, kind of on the same side, you know, that's how I've always been able to kind of not break the bank during the holiday season. Is, you know, I'll buy gifts for everybody, and then they'll be like, "Well, what do you want?" And I'm like, $20. Let's call it even. Call it even right then and there. You get your money back, and you are starting to able to start, you know, kind of chipping away at the debt that you might be facing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does that make me lame liking money? I feel like, you know, that's such a boring answer, though.
But also, I don't think people realize that you can create wish lists. There are websites out there where you can gather from different sources and links from different places and create your own wish list. So whenever somebody wants to give you a gift, they can just go to your link, your wish list link, and get something. You still have the element of surprise because they don't know what you're getting off that registry or off that you know, that wish list. So, I mean, the item is still a surprise, but you know you're going to get what you love. Just like you, Charles Lee. If you have 5 books that's on your desired list, when you open it, you're still going to be surprised because you don't know which of the 5 you're getting.
Yeah.
But you know you've been wanting to read this. And so it's like hitting the ball at the park, right?
Yeah. That's why I say I feel like I'm a pretty easy person. I'm pretty easy for somebody to get a gift for because I'm just like, go on my Goodreads, see all the books that I have on my want to read list, and just pick from that list, and you're gonna get me something I want because it's on that list.
For me, my Pandora bracelet, I love Pandora charms and Pandora bracelets, and so my family, they'll get me Pandora charms.
Yeah.
Especially my oldest, she loves finding a new charm of what she can get me, and so like that's always a good thing for her to go to, and so my mom as well.
Yeah. Well, what I do is I have on my notes app on my phone, I keep gift ideas for everybody I buy gifts for, so my parents and my brother and all of that, and I will keep throughout the year when they say they want something, they're just saying it in passing. I go in and put it in my notes.
Yes.
So I have a pretty good idea by October.
Yeah.
I have a list of like, oh, my dad mentioned these like couple of things. My mom mentioned these things over the year. And then that's how I budget, because then I can figure out how much these things cost and how much I want to spend for each of them. And that's helped me immensely to keep this running list throughout the year. And then by the time that they get these things, they don't remember that they said this back in September.
Right.
So they're shocked. They feel like you read their mind.
Yep. They're like, oh yeah, I forgot that I had even wanted that. But it's something that they, had expressed wanting. So they are thrilled to be getting it and to have completely forgotten that was even something that they had wanted.
I am going to use that too.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, it's helped me so much, because otherwise you get to the holidays and that's when I feel like the pressure comes on, when you don't know what to get somebody. Right. And so you're just like sort of aimlessly shopping, and then you can get sucked into the deals, or you end up buying something that is so, and then you see something later, oh, but this would be better, I'm going to get this too. And I've just found that way, that helps keep me in check.
Right.
Talk about keeping your spending corralled for the holiday season. Shopping with a list. Just like when you go to the grocery store, stick to the list. Have a list of what you want to spend for each person and how much you want to spend. And stick to your guns. Don't allow the store to dictate how you spend. You set the tone for what you're going to spend and how much for each person.
Yeah. Well, and then too with Black Friday, I kind of do the same thing. I make a little list and I say, okay, if these things are on sale and they're, these prices, I will purchase them.
Right.
If they're not, I won't. And that it's harder to stick to in the moment, but I do try really hard to be more rigid with my sort of rules on Black Friday, so I can take advantage of some deals without going crazy and buying just a bunch of stuff that I don't really need or want.
Right. Do you give yourself any leeway with that? I feel like if it was like, the difference of like $1, I'd be like, oh, come on, I was this close.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, if it's close enough, but it's a target. It's a target
Gotcha.
goal.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
okay, if it's around this price, like right now, I really want to get a smart Nest thermostat for my house so that I can program it because I don't have a programmable thermostat for different times of the day. So this is what I really want. And if it goes on, they're not cheap. And so if it goes on sale enough on Black Friday, I intend to buy this and so that's for myself. It's not for gift giving. I do have sort of a personal gifts list for myself for the holidays of
As
things.
you should.
Yeah. But again, you can go kind of crazy with that if you're not careful. Like, oh, I want this and I want this, and before you know it, you've blown your budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will say to that, when it comes to self-discipline, there's a saying that we say at the gym: no one ever regrets a workout that they've done, but people regret workouts that they didn't do.
Right.
So I will even extend it to this: no one regrets money that they've saved, but oftentimes people regret money that they've spent impulsively.
Yeah. Do you guys have any impulse things that you've
Too
bought?
Too many to go over, honestly. We could have a whole different episode if we wanted to just go over that.
Boots.
Yeah, the boots, yeah.
Because it's like how you can't wear all of them.
Right.
You only have 2 feet.
Yeah, you only have 2 feet, and why do you need 3 shades of brown? And you don't need a patent leather one, and then a suede one, and then a leather. It's too much. I have to reel it in. Even a financial coach like me has to get in check sometimes with the spending.
Yeah, well, mine is towels. I cannot pass up a cozy towel, and so it's really hard for me. Last year, they were on sale. These big, I did not know how big. It was one of those bath towels, and this thing was it's like a blanket. And so I bought it, and it shows up at my house, and it's heavy, and it's kind of awkward, but I was too determined that I was going to use it to send it back. And so now I have this huge blanket towel that I force myself to use because I wasted my money on it.
You have to wrap it around yourself 4 times.
Right, Wear it as a cape, do some imagination. Yeah.
Take it to the beach and lay out.
Right.
It seems like it's more like that. I look at this towel and I think this was made for Shaquille O'Neal. This was made for Shaq, not me.
Yeah. That is funny though. Towels. Would not have thought towels.
I would not have thought towels either.
Yeah, no, I just think they look so cozy.
Right.
And
no, I love a good towel. You are not going to hear me complaining about a good towel.
In the winter, I hibernate. So, like you said, the linens and all that stuff goes on sale in January. That's my week. That's my week month.
Right.
And it's funny because everybody has their thing. I'm thinking about my family members. For my dad, he loved ties.
Yeah.
He's a man of suit and tie. And so a good tie, he's not passing up. For my mom, she loves tech and gadgets.
Yeah.
So look out, Apple. Look out, iPads. Look out the latest and greatest. And don't let her grandkids say they want one. She's going to buy it and say, well, when so-and-so comes over, I need this iPad for them, right? My 7-month-old, she's like, oh, you need an iPad so you can FaceTime me every day. I'm like, he does not. 7 months old, absolutely not. So everybody has their thing, right? I have a cousin who loves perfume.
Yeah.
She has an extensive perfume collection. And of course, me with the boots, Charlesy with the towels. And Phil has so much he can't even name.
Mostly clothing decisions. I think I gotta just learn how to use the washing machine because I feel like all of them come out to be, oh, I really like this, coat, jacket, t-shirt, one run through the wash and can't wear it ever again. It's 8 sizes too small. Oh, no. Put it on my dog, maybe, I guess. Re-gift some of my clothing items, right?
Yeah. What do you guys re-gift?
No, not necessarily. I have no issues with people re-gifting, but I can't think of anything that I've ever got. Maybe for an office Secret Santa, I might have had something laying around, forgot about it last minute. But other than that, I can't think of anything in particular.
Yeah.
So for me, I am a maximal minimalist. So I'm right in the middle. I'm a mediumalist, if you will. So there's times and seasons where I feel like, oh my goodness, things is cluttered in here, and I'll start just donating and purging. And then there's times where I hold on to everything. The same happens with gifts. So I like to donate. If there's something that I'm really not going to utilize, I feel like donating is giving to a good cause for whatever the thrift store is supporting at the time that I donate to. And I also am an avid thrifter. So I just like the idea of people being able to go to the store and buying what they actually want. That's not adding to their own personal clutter. For me, regifting might turn into clutter for somebody else.
Right.
Because they didn't want it personally. I kind of buy gifts based on what I know they'll like, not what I want to give them. That's convenient for me.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a good point. And definitely, when I get gifts that I don't want, I do get rid of them.
Yeah,
I don't keep them.
donate them.
Yeah.
I don't keep it around.
It does cause the clutter, and And I also have learned in the holiday season to buy a couple generic but nice gifts because sometimes people get you a gift that you're not expecting. And I've been caught empty-handed before, where somebody presents you with a gift and you don't have a gift for them.
Oh,
and
it's on the way. Don't worry. It'll be here.
Yeah.
No,
What
just
I
another
do,
delay.
Actually,
Sorry.
I have generic gifts, and I put it in my car in the trunk. So if I'm going to a family gathering, yes. And if somebody brings me a gift that I was not expecting, oh my goodness, I was thinking about you too. Wait, let me go get it. I didn't know I was going to see you. You're getting a candle. You're getting a set of hand towels, some nice napkins. Like you're getting something back as well.
That's that putting it in the car is great because usually now, even though I have these gifts, I usually am like, oh, I forgot it at home, so I'm gonna have to get that
in the car. Put them in the car.
I'm gonna use that tip for sure.
Right. Well, I'm glad you guys have planned gifts for that. If I hey, do you want a windshield wiper? Hey, here's a steering wheel cover. Oh my God, I was thinking of you.
A used blanket.
Yeah, here's my Christmas tree air freshener. Right, yeah.
Well, I think as we're kind of wrapping up, Tara, do you have any other advice or anything that we didn't touch on that you think would be helpful for people as they're preparing to start their holiday shopping or continue their holiday shopping?
Yeah, I think you should take notes for what we talked about here. Don't trust your brain to think about everything, especially with that budget. Create a zero-based budget, again, income minus expenses, and budget down to zero. Give every dollar a job to do, even if some of it is going towards holiday spending. Remember to cover your four walls, right? Your food, your clothing, your shelter, toiletries, things like that you need first, and then allocate money to Christmas second. Okay, we're trying to eliminate the guilt and the overspending and the holiday regret, not increasing it this year.
Yeah, that's great advice. And how can people find you? And are you have any workshops or anything coming up that you would want to promote to people?
Yes. So right now I'm everywhere on all platforms at Your Pretty Pennies. I also have a personal account where I share my personal life and home updates, things like that, at Tara Jones-Williamson. So you can find me on social media at those two different outlets. But also I am partnered locally with 1,000 Families of Color, so local nonprofit who wants to see more financial literacy in the Black and Brown communities. And we have partnered to bring you the Getting Good with Money virtual workshop. Nice. So you can sign up on my website at yourprettypennies.com/events. We are hosting them once a month. They're on Zoom, virtual, 7 p.m. for 3 evenings a month. And so it's a great time to really talk about everything: budgeting, savings, debt repayment, building and estate planning, credit repair, insurance policies. We go over the whole gamut. So Getting Good with Money with Tara Jones-Williamson, and you can go to yourprettypennies.com/events, or you can go to 1000familiesoc.com.
Awesome.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Tara, thank you so much for stopping by. This was so much fun.
Thank you for having me. This is great.
Absolutely.
That was another great episode of Life in Progress. I hope you learned a lot about budgeting for the holidays and are ready for your holiday shopping season. Again, thank you to Tara Jones-Williamson of YourPrettyPennies.com for stopping by and giving us so many great tips and advice.
Yeah, no, lots of great tips. I'm going to be using a couple of them probably during my holiday shopping. We'll be back again next time with another episode of Life in Progress. For that next time, we of course will be talking about the holidays yet again, but this time more so focused on the mental health side and how you can really keep up those smiles, but also kind of, again, take your mental health very seriously during the holiday season. That's going to be next time on Life in Progress, but until next time, we hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you again next time.